taking the victory lap here with our boy Big T. Massive takedown PGA last night. Shipped the Millie.
The Twins got the job done for our boy Hoop. Won him $100K. Won him a live final seat.
JSU shipped $200K on, I think, just $1,000 worth of entries. He had a monster night.
Anytime we see members crush like this, we're excited.
Last night, one of our most loyal subscribers from the beginning, Jay Love, took down $20K.
I want to give a shout out to Redmen, who won over $50,000 on opening day.
Blind Bandit took down the $100,000 top prize.
We had someone win a live final seat.
It was one of those days where it's like going 5x or 10x on your money. It wasn't enough to get enough love in the Discord.
Record 62 took down the Millie Maker.
I don't even know if this heater is ever going to end.
Some of these other sites are just boring you to death.
I like how other sites nickel and dime you for every penny they can get.
Tons of the members have given tickets and membership on their own. Like, we're not telling them to do that. They're just doing it for good mojo.
You love to see it. We love the good mojo. And
The mojo is what the mojo is. I give you credit for still having that happen. We appreciate it.
Wait till we ship tonight. I might never take it off.
What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to the Swing for the Fences show. I got Mangone. I got Gary. College football is back. What a great day it was yesterday. We got MMA tomorrow, NASCAR, golf on the weekend. Great day to be a sports fan. And yeah, I mean, it's the last weekend without NFL, so I'm very excited. I mean, we got a couple sports to grind, but man, the weekends are a lot better with NFL on it. I see Beanair. He said, let's go. We got a certified lover boy Hoop today. I'm sorry, Beanair. Hoop is not here. JT is not here. The graphic is a little different, but we got Gary. We got myself. We'll give winners out this beautiful Friday. You guys could hit the like and subscribe button. We always do appreciate it. I'll throw it over to you first, Mangone. Last weekend without football, I know you're very, very excited. You were in the college football streets yesterday, though. A lot of content over for this weekend. How are you feeling?
Yeah, excited. College football's back, so that's awesome. It was fun to watch some football last night. We still got baseball. Baseball has been a good time and excited to dive in. I don't love that it's a core slate. I think core slates are lame, but we'll talk about it. Should be a fun one, and we got all of the content this weekend, right? We got MMA. We got no NFL yet. That's getting right around the corner, but he's getting those best ball drafts. I mean, we got everything. This is the point of the year where all the sports are going on except like NBA, right? I mean, just really no basketball. So it should be a fun time. I'm really excited.
First of all, you're lame. Coors isn't lame. Coors is my best friend. You are lame for saying that.
Coors sucks. That's just the truth. It's a lame. The core slates are boring and
are printers.
Not as exciting.
Our printer, just like yesterday, you played it, you printed per usual. But hey, today it's not as like that. There's 14 games. It's a very good slate. But yeah, I mean, you said no basketball yet, but man, October 21st or 19th, or it's going to be here before we know it. NFL right around the corner, college football back. It's a lot of fun. Gary, I know you're still grinding MLB like we always are. MLB playoffs is going to be coming up pretty soon. It should be a very fun October. I'm excited for that, but still some regular season, still time to make money. Your Braves are in Coors. How are you doing on this Friday?
Doing good. We'll see. When we get into it, we'll see whether I'm on my Braves or not. But yeah, I think there's some good spots here we can attack and, pivot a little bit in tournaments. But yeah, as far as this weekend goes, I'm stoked. We got NFL coming up. I got a bunch of fantasy drafts coming up this weekend, like basically one every day. So I'm pumped. We're going to be pumping out a lot of content over here. So let's get at it.
Yep, definitely. A ton of NFL content coming up. I haven't even seen the schedule yet, so I don't know what I necessarily will be on. I don't know what the schedule is, but I know there will be a ton of content for sure. If you're not a member, it's ending soon. RPS NFL 15, 15% off your monthly subscription for life. You got to get in before NFL starts because the code is ending. Make sure you join it. And then, like, as you mentioned, some best ball drafts, man, going. I keep saying that. I know I already used my 150 best ball drafts, so I'm sad I haven't been able to grind it lately, but I had a ton of fun doing it on Underdog. Use the promo code RUNPEER and you get $25 deposit bonus. Get a free entry into the Millie or 5 puppy ball drafts. It's a fun way to get into the NFL rhythm. Find out which players you want to do before your season-long drafts, and it's just fun to mess around in there. See our boys in chat: Steve Boynton, Uncle T, Travis Duarte, Glock, Corey Pooler, James Cox. We appreciate you all hanging out with us on this Friday. It's a great slate, 14 games. But, man, it's one of the weakest pitching slates I've seen on a 14-gamer that I've ever seen. I mean, we'll get right into it. We'll talk baseball because there's 14 games, a lot to talk about it. My overview, hitting is definitely a lot better than pitching. Up top, I think Ohtani is the best. He has the best strikeout stuff on the slate. He gets the matchup against Texas. He's only 8.7K, so he's my favorite. But I mean, like Adam Wainwright, he's 10K. Evaldi, 9.8K. Freddie Peralta making his first start back from the IL, 9.3K. The top range just really isn't good. I'll go to you first, Gary. I'll say 8K from Tyler Anderson all the way up to 10K. Break down this range because pitching doesn't stand out for me.
Yeah, you're spot on with Ohtani. He's definitely going to be the highest owned of the bunch, and for good reason. He's clearly underpriced here. He's over 10K on FanDuel, so I'm not sure what DraftKings is doing here with this price. So I mean, it's very warranted against Texas here. I don't have any interest in anybody above him, at all, and even below him. I'm seeing Kyle Gibson's probably going to gain some steam here as well, but I'm not even going to go there. So I think everyone from 8K and above, I'm only going to have Ohtani here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not going to go anyone above Ohtani. Kyle Gibson, I'm more of a cash player. So at 8.1K against the Marlins, who we like to pick on that pitcher's park, he does have some good win equity too, I think. So I have a little more interest there, but in tournaments, I definitely agree. He's going to be the popular SP2. I agree with you. Above him, though, I can't pay 10K for Wainwright. Peralta, his pitch count concerns. I'm not paying 9.8 for Evaldi. So I do agree with you there. I'm excited to get into your takes early or at the bottom of the barrel, but I'll go over to you first, man. Going 8K and above, what is standing out to you on the slate?
Yeah. So my problem with this slate title, I mean, when you pull it up, I don't love a lot of the pitchers at the top. I don't think there's tons that I want to play. I mean, you talked about it. Wainwright at the top. Do you want to really pay that tag? I don't really want to. The first guy that a lot of people are going to be on is Ohtani, right? He's obviously going to be discussed a ton here. He's going against Texas. Everyone wants to target Texas. I've talked about it. I don't think you need to target Texas all the time. I don't think he's the best chalk, right? If Ohtani's going to be chalk on this slate, I would rather go elsewhere with the way that I'm kind of building out my lineups, especially if you do want to play Coors. Now, that's the big question. Do you want to play Coors? Do you want to slam in Freddie Freeman into your lineups and all those Atlanta bats? Some of them are cheap, but I just don't love the top end arms that much. So I am currently looking to stay away from the pitchers above 8K. I think in cash games, if you want to, play it safe, as they say, the 2 condom play title, right? Throw on Ohtani if you'd like, right? I'd rather live a little dangerously and go down for some cheaper options and slam in some bats. I just don't think that these top end arms today are that great. I just think that they're not worth the ownership that they're getting. And I would rather get to a different construction and go cheaper to some of these other options that we have on this slate. Sure, you can make arguments for some of these guys like Kyle Gibson at 8.1. You can say he is playing the Marlins, where the Marlins, they are really, really terrible. They're a team that I like to attack. They're a team in that stadium that I like to attack. Kyle Gibson hasn't been the greatest lately. Can he turn it around? Maybe this is the time he can. I know he's going to get all of his innings in, right? Because he's someone that you need him, right? He's a reliable arm. The Philadelphia Phillies hate going to that bullpen because it's not a good bullpen. So Joe Girardi will let him go his, 5 to 7 innings, whatever he can go. So you can take that shot at 8.1K if you want. But for me, I just really want to stay away from these guys above 8K. Like even Alex Manoah, right? He seems like a really talented pitcher, but do I want to target the A's? The A's are a team that they don't strike out a ton. I just don't like a lot of the matchups for these pitchers above 8K. So I'm out on really targeting these guys, at least in my tournaments. Cash games, if you want to throw them in there, I get it. You can make it work because of the way the salary is for hitters around the industry. We know how it's been on DK all year long. The hitters have been easy to get into your lineups. They have some really mispriced players. Jorge Soler at 3.9K. Like, that's just an egregious price tag. And there's just a lot of easy bats to be able to get in your lineup. Byron Buxton, 3.4K. It's just so easy to slam in these top end arms with these cheaper values that if you want to go up there and do that, that's fine. I'm just choosing not to in tournaments. I'm going a little bit cheaper.
No, I definitely think that's a very good point. I mean, even when you say Ohtani and Gibson are the chalk and the best arms on the slate, there is plenty of pass. I mean, we've seen Ohtani get negatives plenty. I know he's been a lot better as of late. And then Kyle Gibson, SP2 chalk, I absolutely love. I think it's very interesting if you want to go down in tournaments, and we have bats to pay for. I mean, I see someone in chat said Ozzie Albies is back in the leadoff hole today. That's another expensive bat from the Braves that you want. A lot of good spend ups today. So I hear you for sure. Let's get into the bottom.
Real quick title. I got a buddy in chat, you know him around the industry, Dean 78904. So Gary, I got in a huge argument with him, and you're a numbers guy. You know, you like to dive into this stuff. I told him that Texas is not a team to target as much because I look at last 30-day data, and Dean makes fun of the last 30 days, and I think it has more value than he does. And I said, Texas doesn't strike out as much over the last 30 days. Now, it depends what line they put in there. I just think Ohtani chalk is an egregious play, and I think that targeting Texas is not as profitable as it's been in the past because I think that lineup is just a little bit better. I think it's not this team that's a juggernaut or anything, but they just don't strike out as much, I think, as people realize when they had that team in July and June.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I mean, if you look, since July, they're what here, 18th in the split as far as K rate and 17th in the split since August 1st. Yeah, they're down by around about 20th or so in WRC plus, but like you said, they're not really striking out a lot, but Ohtani is a different animal. I probably will I'm a little bit higher on him than you are. I'm definitely not going to be slamming them in all my lineups because I do like you, I do want to get a little different with construction and go down a little bit, but on the premise here, the numbers back up what you're saying here.
Yeah, but it's okay. Dean and I have argued about this. We're going to come up with some wager over the next month every single time that Texas is out there because I think he's wrong. He thinks I'm wrong, but it's been a fun debate. But we'll have to see. Like, I want to target the Marlins, even though it's Kyle Gibson. That's the one worry, right? We'll see, though, as we got to get down to these cheaper options. I think it's a day to spend up, though, at hitters. I really do. Hoop talks about this a ton, right, Title? Like, some days you want to prioritize your hitting over the pitching. I think it's a good prioritize the hitting over the pitching kind of slate.
Yeah, no, the top tier is that, like I said earlier, 14-game slate. This is probably the weakest pitching slate I've ever seen for a 14-gamer. We'll get into some of the bottom arms below 8K, though, because I am curious, man, going a couple of guys that stick out to me. We can go all the way down to Glenn Otto at the bottom, 5K against the Angels. And Glenn Otto, he has had very good strikeout numbers in the minors. He only threw 73 pitches last time out, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a little above 80. And if you just want to go all the way down and jam in some bats, I think Glenn Otto is very interesting. A couple other ones, Nestor Cortez for the Yankees going against Baltimore. I think he's pretty interesting at 6.9K. And then, man, Big T is probably going to talk about him a little bit. I hope I don't see him in his core. Maybe, but Jesus Luzardo, 7.8K. He just can't throw strikes at the end of the day for me. His control is awful. But we know, if he does pound the zone, he has the strikeout ability. I don't think I'm going to Luzardo today, but I think his ownership's going to be low because of what he's done recently. And he does have tournament winning upside. So I don't hate it, though. Man, I'll go to you. Glenn Otto, Cortez, Luzardo, or anybody else that catches your eye at below 8K.
Yeah, it is brutal, I will say, below 8K. And it's worth mentioning, right? Let's be transparent. I'm playing more FanDuel because I only want to take one pitcher. I'm definitely not trying to play two pitchers as much on this slate. For cheap, I understand the Luzardo love. I'm definitely more in Big T's camp where I like the kid's stuff, but I understand the control is not necessarily there. But if the stars align correctly, it can work. But Luzardo is a 7.8K now, right? Luzardo is not 6K or 5K. That is a heftier price tag on a guy like Luzardo. I don't think this is the right day to go over to him. Down low, Nestor Cortez is okay. He is garnering more ownership than I would realize. Again, it's tough, though. I like the idea of maybe trying a Cortez and a Glenn Otto pairing and just slamming a lot of the bats. I think that there is some value in doing that on that slate. You're not really betting on those pitchers being, really good. You're just more so betting against those other pitchers and hoping that they don't destroy you completely. it's also, again, talked about like the way that the slate's designed, right? And the way DraftKings pricing is. You probably don't need to go both of those guys. So maybe it is just going to one guy. And if I do only go to one guy below 8K title, it's Glenn Otto. I think Glenn Otto is a good guy to go for. One reason why is I look at the Angels, and the Angels at the start of the year, they weren't really a team to attack. Now they're a team that you can attack. I mean, their strikeout rate has been above 25% over the last 30 days. I think this is a great option here. So Glenn Otto for the flat min, right? 5K, not 4K, but the flat min on this slate, 5-0 works for me. So I'm on Glenn Otto. I think he's one of my favorite pitchers on this slate because he helps me slam in the bats. And I think he'll just get me more than double digits on this slate. And I don't think I need a massive pitching outcome. And instead, I think those bats can get me home.
Yeah, so I'll go right back to man going quick because you said you are playing more on FanDuel. Solid Pick said talk about the FanDuel pricing, and I think there's multiple options to go. I'm on the cash chart in FanDuel, so I was looking at it. Nothing stands out completely. We have Ohtani way up there at what, 10-8, Kyle Gibson 9-4, and then you got Cortez and Luzardo 7-3 and 7-2. So I think those are the four guys that are interesting. 3 different price ranges you get. But yeah, I mean, we always talk about it. FanDuel did right pricing Ohtani up, so you just automatically don't jam him in. What are your thoughts on FanDuel? Do you want to go down to get some of the bigger bats? Are you looking at Gibson 9-4 or Ohtani all the way up top, or someone else I didn't mention?
Yeah, the huge struggle I have on FanDuel specifically is like a lot of the builds lead to typically spending up at your starting pitcher, right? Like it's just one of those things where you can – FanDuel has a looser pricing. Now, they do price up some guys where it's hard to get in 2 different offenses. But typically, if I don't know what the percentage is, right? But if you ran, 100 FanDuel slates, like more percentage of the time, there'll be a spend up pitcher in there, mainly because the quality start is worth so much. And the quality start, I feel like, goes hand in hand a lot with the win because, of course, if you pitch a quality start and get under 3 runs and you go that deep, that sets up for your bullpen well. It sets up for the win. Those kind of correlate a little bit, not completely, but there is some correlation there with that. So typically spending up is the move to go to. I'm definitely messing with the Glenn Otto idea. Now it's not the greatest. If you look, he's gotten 36 last time. Can he go 6 innings? I don't know. That's the one thing I'm really trying to figure out. Who is the guy that can go 6 innings and get me that quality start for cheap? That's really the question that I have on this slate. Like you can make a case Tyler Anderson at 7-4 against a team like Arizona. I'm not scared of Arizona, and they're not a team that, is going to walk a ton and really destroy you. Can they get to you here and there with some bats? Sure. But that's a guy that could easily line up for the quality start and be in line for the win as well for cheap. So maybe he's someone that I go to. You can make a case Vladimir Gutierrez. It's not the greatest park. I know he's someone that blew up the last time and can have some issues, but he can definitely get strikeouts against a team that can strike out. So you could take risks like that if you would like to. But I definitely, when I play FanDuel, I look for that quality start. I think that's super important. And the key on FanDuel is Ohtani's 10-8 title. Like you mentioned it before, I think that's too much, and I'm prioritizing the bats. So the way I'm building out my lineups on FanDuel, I'm building out my 2 favorite stacks, and then I'm figuring out what my starting pitcher is from there. And of course, I might make some tweaks and adjustments to get to the right starting pitcher. I'm not just going to take whatever starting pitcher is given to me. And that's kind of really how I'm handling the FanDuel slate.
Yeah, you made some very good points. FanDuel, the quality start is so important. The quality start and win is what I really want. That's 10 points right there on FanDuel automatically if you can get a QS and a win. And if they go 6 innings, I mean, even if they get 3-4 strikeouts and get the quality start and win, you're usually fine if you're paying somewhere 8K and like that. So very good points. Before I go over to Gary,
Title, before we go to Gary, if you have like a pitching take on this slate that you think like is like a different take, right, on some guy, post it in the chat, right? Like I'd love to hear them and see if anyone has anything interesting, because it is a tough slate. It's definitely not an easy pitching slate. We have one of our chatters here. He just mentioned, man, I hate these like Friday big slates with tons of variance. Well, like these are the slates where eating pitching chalk, I think, is wrong, and really diving deeper and trying to find someone is the move. And again, that's why I might just take a shot on like a Glenn Otto on FanDuel. I've been targeting the Angels offense for a while. It's been pretty profitable. And sure, going down for pitching on FanDuel hasn't been as optimal, but this is not a slate where you just have Brandon Woodruff, jam him in there, right? Or throw in Zach Wheeler or throw in Max Scherzer, Garrett Cole. It's just not one of those slates.
Yep, absolutely right. I don't expect to see multiple 30+ performances today like we have seen recently in the loaded slates. We have about 300 watching, 75 likes. We can do a little better. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button for us, please. Happy Friday to everyone. The weekend's coming. College football, MMA, NASCAR, golf, baseball, you name it, we got it. Great day, great weekend to be a sports fan. NFL right around the corner. RPS NFL 15 gets you 15% off your life subscription per month. recommend hopping in, joining the movement, getting in Discord. We had a couple big wins yesterday. No screenshots right now, or that we have lined up, but I saw a $10,000 win from an $88 entry. I saw multiple other big wins. Big T had about a $25,000 win on FanDuel. His score went off with Mitch Keller and Coors. So make sure you sign up, join the winners, join some fun. I'm going to go over to Gary though. 8K and below, but a couple names I did see in chat. Steve Boyton said, what are your thoughts on Quantrill? And then I see some people talking about Carlos Hernandez, and I think he's a pretty good pivot at 5.1K from Glenn Otto. He is going to be a lot lower owned. His last two performances, his last two outings, he's absolutely shoved. He has some pretty good stuff. So talk about 8K and below, and then make sure to talk about Quantrill and Hernandez.
Yeah, so the 8K below range, my favorite is definitely Glenn Otto. He's going to be super low here. He just got a lot of K upside here. The Angels, they're striking out like the fourth most in the bigs right now, and they're not hitting the ball either. They're 29th in ISO, 28th in WRC plus over the last month. I just think he's going to shove tonight. I mean, I'd play him on every team if I was maxing. That's how confident I am in him. Carlos Hernandez. So this morning I was on him a little bit, but then I started digging in a little bit. He's got the second lowest BABIP on the slate. He's been getting really lucky recently. I can see some regression hitting him here against this, and he's been kind of reverse split. So he's been getting hit up a lot by righties. That doesn't not going to treat you well versus Luis Robert and, Eloy Jimenez. So I think I'm more on the White Sox side on that argument. But again, like I said, on the surface this morning, I was on him, but not anymore. A guy that I liked, and Steve's mentioned him a little bit in chat, is Cal Quantrill. He's just been absolutely outstanding recently. Boston's lineup's very watered down right now, and I think Quantrill is actually my favorite guy on FanDuel too. He's only 7.8K over there. I think Cleveland can win this game, so I like him for the quality start, and I like him for the win over there. I know the projections aren't really liking him too much here, but he is probably my second favorite guy under 8K here. And after that, Nestor Cortez, he's okay. I don't know. I think I just like Quantrill a little bit better than Cortez here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Quantrill, you and Steve might be one of the only ones to play. He's going to probably be like 1-2% on, like you said. He's not really popping in projections. Boston has a 5.2 implied total, but yeah, he has been good looking at his recent numbers and stuff. So definitely low owned. I don't mind that on a 14-game slate. We'll wrap up pitching, though. I mean, tons of options. Is there anyone else down there that stands out to you? You said not really Cortez. Luzardo, I know you're not really a Luzardo guy. Sean Manaea, I mean, 7-7 against Toronto. I don't really want to go there. So give your top 4 pitching options on the slate, Gary. Rank them 1 through 4.
So I'm going to go with my boy Otto, number 1, Quantrill, number 2, Ohtani, number 3.
Okay. Yep. I'm gonna go Ohtani, Otto. I'm gonna say Cortez in tournaments because I mean I don't really want to eat Gibson chalk. You can't just. I agree. You can't just play the top 2, Ohtani and Gibson in tournaments, say in a 14-game slate. I don't think that's very sharp. Cash games, I do agree that's probably the route. I wouldn't mind if you want to go Otto and some bigger bats, but Solaire's 3.9, Buxton's 3.4. There's some misprices that you can get up, but. I'm gonna go Ohtani, Otto, Cortez for my top 3. Mangone, what are your top 4 on this slate?
Man, a hit is brutal. I'm gonna go Otto as my 1, right? Like point per dollar, but like he's just the guy I want to get in my lineups based on like the way I'm constructing. I'll go with it's so tough. I guess I'll go with Gibson at 2, right? Just because it's the Marlins. That's the team I like attacking. I like that stadium. Not that I love Kyle Gibson, but this is just the hand we've been dealt. And then I'll go with Cortez at 3, right? I think Cortez is definitely an interesting option. Of course, he can give up a home run here and there, but I'm just hoping I get some strikeouts and kind of can get out of it without, maybe I get like 12 or 14 fantasy points at pitcher and then I can just move on. Because again, I'm hoping that no one breaks the slate. I don't think there's anyone out there that's going to put up like a 30 or 35 spot where I need them on this slate.
Yep. No, I definitely do agree with you. We'll go over to hitting. You guys can hit the like and subscribe button for us, please. We do appreciate it. Talking some baseball on a Friday. What can be better? We'll go over to the first game, though. The Mets and the Nationals. The guy that stands out, I mean, there's so many spots today that people in good or teams in good spots where you can't play everyone. Some are going to have 5+ implied totals where you're just going to have to make stands because hitting, we talked about how bad pitching is. That means hitting is pretty good against some bad pitchers. So it's first game, the Mets have a 5 implied total. The Nats are a little lower. I don't mind some power bats in a Michael Conforto, a Pete Alonso on the Mets, but it's anything a one-off or a mini stack for me. And then going to the Nationals, Lane Thomas is only 2.3K in the one hole. I think that's some good value. But other than that, I'm not looking a full stack or anything. The Nats for me. I'll go to you, Gary. How do you see the Mets and the Nationals?
Yeah, so I think this seems like a really good spot on paper. I mean, Rich Hill is not good, and this Nolan guy is not good either. But I don't have a lot of confidence in these two offenses here on a 14-game slate. So I think I'm just Xing out everybody from this game.
All right. Yeah, I keep Slick DeRule. He's in chat. He's mentioned a couple of times. Sorry, I keep forgetting to ask. I'll go to you, Gary. He's thinking about Ynoa for leverage at pitching. You can touch on that quickly. I'm not sure Colorado is really going to be too chalky, though. Like, its ownership's going to be spread out. Braves will have more. So I don't know how much necessarily leverage you're getting, but you're the Braves guy. You've been on Ynoa in the past. Talk about him briefly.
I just don't think you need to do that risk. Colorado is really good at home. I mean, there's something like 22 games above 500 at home, and they're scoring a lot of runs. Ynoa can give up some bombs. I can't do it on the slate, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, Colorado just hits at home. I mean, even though we like picking on the road a little bit, at home, they're definitely a different team. So I agree. 14-game slate, I don't think you got to go there. I'll go over to you, man, going the Mets and Washington. How do you see it?
Yeah, so if you look at this game, for value, Lane Thomas definitely pops out as someone to not ignore at 2.3K. So you can definitely go to him. I see someone in the chat talking about Sean Nolan. Can we play him? He got 16 DK points against the Mets before. I don't think it's a good idea too. Mets have been hitting a little bit better, and their lineup's definitely, I shouldn't say, if you look like a couple weeks ago, right? It's improved, right? It's gotten a little bit better. When you add Lindor in there, right? You got like Conforto in the 6 hole now. I just think it's a little bit better of a lineup. I know it's still the Mets and they still suck, but has improved some. I don't think playing Sean Nolan is the right idea. I think there's other cheap options that we talked about before. I think you play Jonathan VR. I don't mind him. I think he's at kind of a rough position where if you have to spend in that mid tier, I don't mind going to him. He's in that one hole. He gets that better stadium to play in, Washington, right? We like to target hitters there at times. And he's the one hitter getting 9 innings. He can get 5 at bats, right? So that's pretty good for a guy like VR. Don't mind him, but I'm not really stacking this game up. I don't think it's too necessary. You can make an argument if the Mets stack is low owned. It's not a bad one to go to, right? If you can go like a VR, a Pete Alonso, a Javi Baez, or even Lindor. Lindor's kind of pricey though. Maybe like a Nemo, maybe even a PR, right? If you go like VR, PR, and Pete Alonso, that's not a bad 3-man stack against the lefty. And it's a really, really, really bad Washington bullpen that you could get as well. So don't hate the Mets as a mini stack option.
Yeah, I think some of their mini stack options are fine. More on FanDuel, like VR is 2.6K, like you mentioned. Pilar is down there at 2.1K. I do like Pete Alonso a lot. I do like power in this lineup. So I think a couple Mets are fine. Thomas on DraftKings is underpriced, but it's not going to be a full stack game for me. We'll go over the next game, Baltimore and the Yankees. And a couple people have been talking about it in chat. Gleyber Torres is back in action. He's in the 7 hole today, 3.4K. And he's absolutely killed the Yankees in the past. Someone was asking, is this the guy who kills the Orioles? Or he's killed the Orioles. Is this the guy that's killed the Orioles? Yes. Gleyber Torres went on an absolute insane run. I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, but he has killed the Orioles if you do believe in those narratives. But he's back in the 7 hole, 3.4K. They're taking on John Means. I don't mind some of these Yankees power bats from the right side. Luke Voigt's 3.7, Torres 3.4 if you want to go 6.7. Stanton's 5K, Judge is 5.8 though. So I'm probably not going to full stack him today. I don't think John Means is very good, but he can limit the damage somewhat. I'll go over to you, Gary, though. What are your thoughts on the Yankees and Baltimore?
Yeah, so I don't hate a Yankee stack here, just because John Means has given up a ton of home runs to right-handed power bats, and this lineup is absolutely loaded with them tonight. Luke Voigt, Stanton, Judge, and are probably my favorites there. So maybe a 3-man with those 3. There are full stacks that I like a little bit more, but I don't hate it.
Yep. I'll go over to you, man. Go first. Steve White. So to be fair, Torres has killed the Yankees this year. Yeah, Torres definitely has been bad. I misspoke, but he has killed the Yankees. But in the past, he has killed the Orioles. That's what I meant to say. But go over to you, Mangone. Yankees, Orioles. How do you see it?
Yeah, Yankee stack is definitely in play on this slate, right? I mean, they're absolutely loaded top to bottom. So you can't ignore them. You get Aaron Judge against a lefty, Stanton against a lefty. I mean, listen, this is a good spot. I mean, Luke Voit, Luke Voit can mash lefties. I mean, it's a loaded Yankees lineup. They're definitely a stack that I'm considering on this slate, right? So far, they're my favorite stack as we've gone through. Not my favorite stack on the slate, I don't think, but I'm definitely going to be looking at a Yankee stack as, they're going to be at the end of the show when we talk about it. They might be in that top 4 or top 3 title. They're definitely in contention. We don't like John Means that much against righties, and we get that really bad Orioles bullpen, right? I mean, that bullpen has been giving up bombs. So I think the Bronx Bombers have a pretty good game tonight. I definitely think getting exposure to them in your lineup makes sense. And even if they get 6 runs, right? 4 of them could be home runs, right? And sometimes we don't talk about it enough. We don't want like the Royals back in 2015 when you were in diapers title, when they used to hit singles and get like RBI singles and just doubles. We want bombs. We want home runs. We want that 14-point score, even if it's a solo shot. So I like the Bronx Bombers.
Man, going with the hot take of the day so far. My favorite stack so far in this slate. And on the second game we talked about, man, I like it. Favorite stack so far. We'll go to the next game. I'll go right back to you though, man. Going Oakland and Toronto. Yeah, I mean, we know Toronto's a very good offense, one of the top ones, but they're going against Manaea. They have a lower total, 4.8 today, which is lower than they've been in the past. On this 14-game slate, I think they're going to be very overlooked because of their prices, because of the total. People are going to go elsewhere. And it's a pitcher's park. They have the humidor there. The ball dies, as we've seen recently. I mean, I've seen multiple balls to the warning track would be out in other parks. So I don't have too much interest in Toronto, but I would never hate a one-off or mini stack, Semien, Vlad, a Springer, stuff like that. If you're going down at pitching, low ownership. Go over to you though, man. How do you see Toronto and Oakland?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Toronto is the best 5-man stack. I think if you wanted, like if you do the 5-man, you better play at least 4 of Springer, Semien, Vlad, Bichette, Teoscar. You better play 4 or 5 of them. I think there are better plays for 2-man stacks and 3-mans. If you're doing the 5-2-1 or the 5-3, I think that's the best way to get exposure to them because yes, some of them cannot have great games, but Manaea is a guy that does have some struggles against righties. And some of these guys too, when they get on base, they can steal, right? Springer, Bichette. And that's why I like targeting those 2 guys over the other ones because they have more stolen base ability. I'd say those are probably my 2 favorite guys is Springer and Bichette from this lineup right now. But I'm not looking to 5-man them completely. And if you do go this team, right, definitely 5-man stack it up, right? And the reason why, go the 1 through 5. And I typically don't say that that's a great idea to do, but I think on this slate, if you do slam in those guys, I think that's just giving you a different construction already because not a lot of people are going to want to double spend down at pitcher. And I think that's really going to force you to do that. So that's how I'd handle the Jays. They're not one of my favorite stacks in the world, but I understand that if you do play them, there's too many holes at the bottom of the line, in my opinion, between Grichuk, Gurriel, even Smith, Kirk. Like they're just, you can't play 2 of these guys. At most, I think if you were like doing 150 lineups, I would make it at most put one of those guys in my stacks.
Gary, I'll go over to you. How do you see Toronto and Oakland?
So I think Toronto is one of my favorite stacks on the slate. Sean Manaea has just been absolutely terrible over the last month. He's given up 3.6 home runs per 9. He's only striking out 19% of batters, 7% walk rate, 4.7 xFIP. I mean, he has 8 home runs since August 1st versus right-handed batters. And I mean, this lineup is absolutely loaded. I think they're going to put up a 10 spot tonight. I'm going to this is definitely my favorite stack of the night for sure. Top to bottom, everybody's in play for me.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, anytime you get Toronto pretty low on this offense, I definitely will never say no. Gary bringing the fire. Toronto, one of his top offenses on the slate. I like it. We'll go over the next game, Detroit and Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is one of my favorite stacks. I do think they are going to get some ownership today, but man, they're in a very good spot, I think, against Tyler Alexander at Great American Ballpark. I like the Reds a lot. I'm sticking to the righties. Alexander has been good against the lefties, so I would hold off a Joey Votto just for stacks, I guess, but I still probably wouldn't even play him there. I like Aquino. I like Farmer going down 6-7 hole if you want to go cheap. Love India, 4.5K. Stevenson's in the 2-hole at catcher, 4.8K. You get to Shields down there. He's min price on FanDuel at 2K. He's in the 8-hole. I really like these Cincinnati righties. go over back to you, Gary. How do you like Cincinnati and Detroit?
Man, so I liked – this is another one of those situations where first thing when I opened the slate, I liked Cincinnati, and I started digging a little bit more. So originally, Urena was supposed to come in long relief, and Alexander was just going to be an opener. So it looks like now that Alexander is going to be the full go. He's going to be going 6 or 7 innings here. And I just think Cincinnati is bad chalk today. I'm not going to play them at all. They've just been striking out like the third or fourth most in the league over the last month, and they haven't been hitting the ball. They're bottom 3, bottom 4 offense versus lefties. I'm not going to have any of this game.
So yeah, the thing on this slate with 14 games with Coors, like I don't know how necessary they're going to get some ownership. I'm definitely not saying that, but I don't know how chalky. Like maybe Castellanos 5.1K, but I don't think they're going to be too overly owned. They definitely will get some ownership though. I hear you. A fade, you don't have to worry about ownership at all then. Mangone, I'll go to you. How do you see Cincy and Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not ignoring the Reds here. I mean, they're definitely going to be a great play. I think one thing you could see too is like, obviously if Alexander does have his issues, which he could get absolutely shelled, and you get that Detroit bullpen, which again, I like when I can get a bad bullpen behind it as well. So this is definitely a loaded lineup. You can make an argument that the lineup to Shields is definitely waters it down a little bit, but overall, I think that this is a really good offense to attack. I mean, India is a good option. Tyler Stevenson, I don't think I need to go to him today. I mean, you could play Tyler Stevenson if you want. I don't think it's the best use of your salary. If I was playing the red stack, I don't think I'd go to him. I'm always down for Nick Blastellanos. I mean, he's always just launching them, and he gets a lefty. Sign me up. And who's going to play Joey Votto in a lefty-lefty? I mean, a lot of people won't do that, but Joey Votto just mashes. So I wouldn't even keep him out of your red stack, right? He's someone that I would make sure to prioritize. And I thought you brought up a good point with the guy like Kyle Farmer. I think he's a really good option that you can get into your lineups. And overall, this is a solid stack. This is definitely one that I'm going to be on this slate.
I see Jordan in chat. He goes about to enter the word Nando. I don't even know what that is supposed to mean, but the old 1.5x catch up. Good luck catching up with Mangone on 1.5x speed. Man, I tried that for the first time, Mangone, because everyone has talked about it. They weren't lying. I mean, hey, you're impressive with how fast you talk. So good luck to you. Maybe Mangone.
The funny thing is so because I've done the 1.5, like people listen to me on 1.5 and they have trouble. I can listen to people on 2.0 because like I can talk fast. I'm used to it. My brain's cool with it. So I can do the 2.0, but I have to really, really focus. So try 2.0 just to get a good laugh. It would be funny to hear.
I listen to everything, all podcasts, everything 1.5x now. I can't listen to anything lower, but I had to probably bring it down to 1.25 and keep messing with that butt when you're on the show. But we appreciate it, Jordan. We appreciate you in here catching up. We'll go over to the next game though. First, 350 watching, 113 likes. We can definitely do better than that. Hit the like and subscribe button for us, please. We do appreciate it. We'll go over to the next game though. Miami and Philly. Pitchers Park, low total. I think it's a pretty easy cross-off game with Luzardo and Gibson. But, hey, Luzardo does have struggles with command. He could walk a lot of batters. Philly's going to be unknown, so I don't think it's the worst idea. And I see they got this guy, Matt Vierling. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. I have no clue who he is. Maybe you do, Gary, but he's min-price 2K in the 6-hole at first base. So if you're trying to go double up at pitcher, I don't think it's a slate you really need it today. But anyone's that's mid-price, 6K in the line or in the 6-hole, I think he could be interesting. But do you know anything about him, Gary? And do you have any interest in this game?
Yeah, I don't really know much about him. I know he did well a couple nights ago, but so I'm not going to have any Phillies bats here. I wish there was some high-priced pitching that I like tonight because Miami would probably be one of my favorite stacks. I just don't think I need to go there tonight. I mean, they're just way too cheap, and with roster construction, it's not going to lead me there at all, but I do like some of these Miami bats. Lewis Brinson, Jesus Sanchez, Jazz Chisholm, Jesus Aguilar, who's leading the National League in RBIs against this chalky Gibson. I think it's a good leverage spot, but again, I don't think you need to do it on this slate. It's just because we don't have the high price stud pitching that we're accustomed to.
Yep, definitely makes sense. Some good points there. Mangone, Philly, Miami. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia's been hitting better, but I never play guys in this park. It's just a terrible spot, in my opinion. And Gary, listen, you wouldn't be playing a Miami stack if there was a good pitcher on this slate. Because what would happen is if Max Scherzer was on this slate, sure, you would need some salary to get to him. But you know what the thing would happen, Gary? Kyle Gibson wouldn't be chalky. So you wouldn't be looking for that leverage. I mean, it's something that probably wouldn't exist. But I don't know. I just can't get behind this game in general. I'm out. No need to play anyone in this game for me.
Yep, I agree with you. It's not really a contrarian take, but when you have a 14 game slate, we always talk about Big T, Hoop, myself, every single sport, whether it's basketball, football, we'll get to and stuff. You have to make big slates and condense them. And the easy way to do that is just crossing off full games. So that's how I think that's the best to do in that game. We'll go over to the next one, though, Cleveland and Boston. I'll go right to you first, Gary, because I think you're going to say pass since you do have interest in Quantrill. Evaldi, on the other hand, I don't think you have to go and pick on him today. So Boston, Cleveland, easy pass for you, Gary?
Easy pass.
Mangone?
Yeah, I don't think I need to go to this game. I just think it's I don't want to play Quantrill, but I also don't want to stack up against. So I think this game is a full-on pass for me.
Yep, I'll go over the next game. I agree. I don't think when anytime Steve and Gary, if they're on a low-end pitcher, a lot of good offenses on this slate, I don't think I need to go and use Boston and attack him. So it's a move-on game for me as well. We'll go over to the next game, Minnesota and Tampa. And I'll start with Minnesota first. Byron Buxton still is only 3.4K. I would say why is he only 3.4K, but he's done absolutely really nothing recently as chalk. So maybe DK knows something we don't, but he's still 3.4K. He's in the 2-hole. He's going to be popular. So cash games, you play him. Tournaments, though, I mean, they're not in as good of a spot as they have been recently. So I think you fade that one-off chalk, but he is too cheap at the end of the day. And going over to Tampa, they get Dobnik, who's coming off the 60-day IL. He's been absolutely brutal before he went to the IL. Don't know why he's even pitching. I really like Tampa in this spot. I know it's a pitcher's park. We don't love targeting parks here, but and they did disappoint. I know some people were on them yesterday, but I wasn't, thankfully. They didn't hurt me. I'm going to them today, though. I think Tampa's absolutely going to smash Dobnik and this bullpen. This lineup's just so good, top to bottom. It's a little worse today. They got like Taylor Walls in the 9-hole, Kiermaier's up in the 6-hole. But other than that, like Brandon Lau, Nelson Cruz, they got Mejia at catcher, 3.1K. I don't love that. Meadows 4.6, but I have interest in Tampa. I don't think Dobnik's good. I like this offense, even though it's a little watered down lineup. I'll go over to you, Gary. How do you see Minnesota and Tampa?
Yeah, so Tampa Bay is right up there with Toronto for me. So I definitely love me some Tampa Bay bats. Brandon Lau in the leadoff hole is one of my favorite plays on the slate. We could see a leadoff bomb here from him tonight. And I actually like Kiermaier. I like Kiermaier against righties, and I actually like Mejia too. So top to bottom here, there's not many here I wouldn't play it. Maybe outside of Taylor Walls. But yeah, so Tampa Bay, love them today. They should hit 3 or 4 bombs, if not more today. And on Minnesota side, I don't know. I just can't play Byron Buxton just because he's going to be 25% owned. So I'm out on Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think you play that one off in tournaments either. And yeah, I'm with you. I don't mind Kiermaier. Usually he's just down there in the 8-hole. So like, their lineup's a little better. They roll out a little better lineup. As far as Mejia, I love Mike Zunino. He's treated me so well. So I always prefer to see his name in there, but you never can go wrong throwing a catcher in your stack, have a wraparound. I do agree for sure. Mangone, do you like Tampa as well? And then anything from Minnesota?
Yeah, you can make arguments for Tampa here. I think that there's some good chalky. I shouldn't say, I don't know if chalky is the word, right? But they're going to get some ownership, right? It's Byron Buxton at 3.4K. He's just an underpriced player. I'm sure he's going to get some ownership, but these are guys that I think mixing and matching throughout your cash lineup is perfectly fine. Even in tournaments, I wouldn't mind him as a one-off, but I don't think it's necessary. There's better one-offs maybe to go throughout the slate. But yeah, talk about the Rays a little bit. They disappointed yesterday. Can you take a shot on them? Of course you can. I mean, this Twins bullpen is not that good. I don't love this ballpark, but it always depends on the slate, right? Like what is on the slate? Are there like amazing spots to go to? And I think there's 3 really good hitting spots all around, but they're not just like absolute smashes that I'm in love with. So if you want to take a shot on the Rays, I wouldn't say to you that you're making a mistake. They're just not going to be one of my top stacks today, I think, right now.
Yeah, that's very fair. I mean, there's a lot of good spots on today's slate. And with Coors, that's going to get the Braves are the one that stands out the most, especially with Solaire's price and stuff. I don't think you have to worry too much about ownership. I mean, obviously you can't go Ohtani, Gibson, Coors, and then like stack them with us Reds or Tampa top of the order. Like you have to get a little different somewhere in your lineup, but I wouldn't be too concerned with outside of like Soler or Buxton's price. Certain guys like that stand out just because they're priced. I wouldn't mind them. If you like Cincinnati, if you like Tampa, if you like Colorado, you stack them today. I don't think you worry about ownership and fade them because of that. It's a big slate. We'll go over the next game though. St. Louis and my Milwaukee Brewers. Peralta's on the mound. Wainwright's on the mound. Peralta's not going to have a very long leash. I would be very surprised if he went past 5 innings, really. So that's why we didn't really talk about him too much at pitcher. Otherwise, he would be in the consideration. But, I mean, I don't like picking on this Brewers bullpen. As far as the Cardinals and Wainwright, he's been pretty good. He's been a lot better than pretty good. He's been very good this year. But it's a game that I just think you move on, fade it in offense, even though that won't be contrarian. But I'll go over to you, Gary. What are your thoughts?
No interest in this game for bets.
I like it. Gary just keeps it short and sweet. Mangone, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm having issues publishing some college football stuff. I mean, I need the captain to give me access title, so I don't even know what game we're on. I'm trying to do both at once. So what game? Tell me real quick.
This is where I really wish I had a button. I could StreamYard, put you in a timeout, and Gary and I could just
title. I'm doing 2 things at once. I'm getting the college football winners ready. I mean, I can't get access. I don't know what to do. I've had access all this time. We changed up, which is actually worth talking about. We should mention it on the show. This is a good point, Title. We have this new thing where we can publish everything, and we do it for the cores where they all get published out. It's for everything now, Title. It's for the cash stuff. It's for all the cores, not just MLB. So instead of the lag that we had in the past, it's for everything now. So all you do is click the publish button. And for some reason, I don't know why, college football, I need to get access from the captain. So if you're listening, captain, hook me up. I'm trying to DM you right now.
I'll give a 1% chance captain is listening right now. So yeah, you better hope he responds to those DMs. Oh, come on. I see Beanair in chat. Beanair is always around in Discord. He said LMA returning the Nets, title shaking in his boots. Come on, Beanair. I mean, if this was 2008, when he was on the Trailblazers, then I'd be a little scared. But come on, Beanair, you're better than that. When I see a basketball talk, I love talking about it. I love basketball. So had to acknowledge that dumb comment from you, Beanair. And then we are the people. Title loves Coors Slate. You bet I do. In my background, I even told Gary pre-show, I forgot to change it at first. Love changing my background to Coors. Mangone doesn't, but hey, play Coors. It usually prints. We'll go to the next game, though. We're not quite at Coors. That's in 2 games, but the White Sox and Kansas City, Keuchel and Hernandez on the mound. Just not a game that I really have too much interest in. I know, Gary, you did mention about Hernandez. You think he could be due for some regression. So do you have interest in Robert, Hernandez, or some of these righty power bats? Are you going to full stack it, mini stack it, or how do you see this game?
Yeah, I'd probably do it as a full stack here. They're down my list a little bit, probably my 4th or 5th favorite stack, just because I like some others more, but they're definitely in play for me. Kansas City side, I also have some interest in these bats. It's not, it's a little concerning with Oliveira's batting cleanup, but Mondesi's 4-5, good play versus the lefty, and Keuchel. Sal Perez, both of them are huge fly ball hitters, so the bomb potential is there. So maybe a mini stack for the Kansas City side, a Witt, a Nicky, Salvador Perez, and Alberto Mondesi. Just mix and match 3 of those guys. And keep it moving. But so, yeah, I like bats on both sides here.
All right. Trent Gabbard in chat. He was with Big T. He was always around us. He's part of the family. It's fun hanging out with Trent. He said, NBA Summer League is over, Mangone. That made me laugh because, hey, this was the last time you did that. Now it's college football. It was Summer League.
Again, I just don't help the people, Title. I'm not going to help anyone anymore. I'm just going to stop helping. I'm going to say, JSU says, hey, can you do this show? I'm going to say, no, I can't do this show, JSU. I have to do college football content. Like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm trying to help the people. That's all. Trying to be a man of the people.
What about the 380 people watching that want your winners? What's going on there?
I mean, I got to help everyone. I'm trying my best. I just won't show up for the show next time, Title. I'm going to say, listen, Title, I'm not on the show. I'll leave you guys with Holden. I'll say Holden's going to show up and he has to do the show with you guys. And then you guys will be praying for me back. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. We love Holden. He's on the Up to Lock show, but I think, Mangone, I'll take you there. But we'll talk about this game, Mangone. I don't know if you know which one we're on, but it's White Sox.
We're on the White Sox, baby, but we're not playing them today, Tight. I don't think we are. I mean, I guess you can make the argument like, oh, they can smash any slate if they're not going to be owned. Sure, I think that makes sense. I guess the issue I have here, Titles, I hate this ballpark. I've never been the biggest fan of targeting guys in the Kansas City Park. Now, if it's like 90, 95 degrees there, it's a little bit different. The park plays a little bit more hitter friendly, but fly balls kind of die here a bit. So I think I'm out on this. And listen, I love the White Sox, but any team that's got Leury Garcia in the 6 hole, I mean, that's really ugly. I know he hasn't been that bad as of late, but that Leury Garcia, Gavin Sheets, Andrew Vaughn, who hasn't looked good, and Cesar Hernandez at the bottom, it feels like that Toronto Blue Jays lineup when they didn't have George Springer, where, hey, listen, Robert, Moncada, Abreu, Eloy, and Grandal, it looks great, but man, that bottom 4 is ugly, and it feels like it hurts the turning of that lineup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, both sides. What Kansas City in the 4 hole? What is it, Oliveira or whoever it is who's usually not there, and then Garcia in the 6 hole. It's a little watered down. Man, before we get to the next game, because you are doing a college football, Steve Boynton wants to know who's the college football stack today.
Yeah, real quick, I'll tell Steve that, but we got Andrew Peterson in the chat. He says, come on, man, going, that's bad mojo. He goes, if he's in the chat, no chance he knows who I am. I do know it's Andrew Peterson. I know who that is. You know why, Title? He picked up the phone the other day when I called him, and he said, hello, this is Andrew. He never saved my number, Title. So, he pulled a Holden and didn't save my number from the last time we talked. So, Andrew Peterson, I know you are AP. So there you go. You pulled a Holden the other day. And so here's my CFB take I'll give you, Title. I won't give you like the stack, but I think that the guy that I like the most, that I don't know if he's under owned, but he feels like a guy that people aren't really going to play as much, is the Kansas City running back Gardner. Kansas running back.
I was going to say.
Gardner. Yeah, sorry. The reason why I like the Jayhawks a little bit, and I like their run game, is they have the Buffalo head coach, right? And Buffalo had Jared Patterson in the past, and they used to pound the rock. And basically Gardner was talking about how, man, like I've been watching tape of Patterson, and I've learned a bunch of, from him, from talking to the coach and how to run better. And they have a freshman behind them, and then they have a redshirt freshman behind them. And this team is projected to put up like 36 points tonight, and they're going to be leading all game, and Kansas sucks. They're not a team that has a projected high win total. They're just going to ground and pound this team, and I think Gardner is going to have a big game. He's like 5'6" or 5'8" around that price tag, and I think he's going to be one of those running backs that maybe doesn't get as much ownership compared to some of the other ones on this slate. So that's my guy that I put in my cores that I think could be a really big difference maker for you. While other people are playing this 3K receiver on that team, I don't think they're going to pass as much, Title. I think they're going to ground and pound, and I think Gardner's going to get the job done and put up like 25 fantasy points for us.
You could have said a fake name and I would have went along with it because I don't know what's going on, but I thought that was very good. Or, I mean, just game theory wise, if someone's going to be chalking a team at 3K, you play a different position. They run the ball. You hope they don't pass more. You get a little leverage there. I like everything you said. That's the play of the day from Mangone, college football. And that Andrew Peterson, that was very funny for sure. I was like, please, I was really hoping at first that you didn't know it was AP, which I was like, there's no way. But you're like, Andrew Peterson in chat. And I was like, wow, this is going to be too good. But AP, come on, you got to do better. Holden, people I talk, Holden's a good host. Come on, people. I know we like to mess with them in chat, but Holden gets the job done. He knows what he's doing most of the time. Little hurtful not meeting up with some people, though. That I do agree with. We'll go to the next game, though. 380 likes, 146 watching, having fun, hanging out, talking winners, engaging with chat. It's a fun Friday. Big weekend ahead of sports. Hope you guys have a great weekend, but we'll go to the next game, the game of the night, the only one that matters on this slate. Coors Field, Atlanta and Colorado. I'll throw it right over to you first, Gary. I mean, people know my takes. I like Coors. I'm going back to Coors because I don't even think it's going to be crazy high owned today because you have to, I mean, like Jorge Soler will be for sure. Brendan Rodgers might get some at 4.3, but these guys are expensive. Story 5.6, Crone 5.3, Freeman 5.7, Albies 5.6, Blackman 5.1. These guys are expensive on a 14-game slate, so I don't think they're going to be too crazy owned. Some of these guys will be, but talk about Coors. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so I definitely like Atlanta, of course. They're a little further down on my list just because, Sensatella hasn't been giving up any home runs recently at all, and that's really concerning. But, so to counteract that, though, the Braves have a lot of fly ball hitters, so that kind of counteracts that a little bit for me. They're not my favorite stack. but they're definitely in play. Albie's coming back from injury. I love it. It's going to be good for the team. We need him down the stretch. I mean, we're only got a 2-game lead on the Phillies now, so that's good for our lineup as a whole. Maybe the boys get it together for him for his, after his 2-game absence and crush the slate tonight. But I'm going to be a little bit down on Atlanta. I know a lot of people are probably surprised on that, but yeah, so they're in play for me, but not my favorite. And Colorado, CJ Crone has been mashing the ball recently. He didn't do anything last night, but I mean, I doubt he's going to have any ownership. I know I played him last night and he was only like 6% owned on a 5-gamer. So I can't imagine him garnering too much more ownership, if at all, than that tonight. So I definitely like both sides of this game. If I was to pick a side, I'd probably actually pick Colorado here.
Yeah, I mean, I that's a very good point. See, first base is absolutely loaded. Freeman, CJ Crone. I think Pete Alonso is a very strong play. You have the punt all the way down there at 2K. First base is very strong. Good points on CJ Crone. Man, going Coors Fields. You hate the slates with them on it, but hey, they're on it. Nothing you can do about it. Good spot. What are your thoughts, though?
Yeah, it's definitely a good spot. Senzatella, you can make the argument. He's been frustrating. He's been getting all the ground balls in the world. He's been annoying, but they're going against the Braves, right? And sometimes something's got to give. And I think I'm on the Braves today. I feel like people are going to kind of be a little scared to go to the Braves, like Gary, right? Like they're just, man, like Gary's never not on the Braves, right? It'll be a 15-game slate and they're going up against Garrett Cole. And I'll be like, Garrett Cole could give up a couple home runs and we get in that bullpen early. Go Braves. Like, I mean, listen, Gary, I think that sure, Senzatella is a ground ball guy, but you have a lot of fly ball hitters. Maybe we can get in that bullpen a little bit earlier. Maybe this is the start that Senzatella has some regression back the other way. If you tell me people are not playing the Braves as much because of that, which I don't know exactly where everyone's going ownership-wise, it feels like people are trying to talk themselves out of playing the Braves. I mean, if they had a 7 implied run total, everyone would be on them. But because it's up 6 or 5.89, people are a little more scared. I think I'm going to the Braves, and the reason why is, again, I don't like the top-end arms today. So I can just jam in the Coors bats instead. And because I jam in those Coors bats, I have to play cheaper pitchers, and that's okay. I'm already trying to kind of play some cheaper pitchers. And I can just jam in 2 absolutely stud offenses, go 1 cheap pitcher on FanDuel, run the 4-4 stack, and hope for the best. And I think that's currently where I'm at, Gary. I think I'm going to try and jam those Braves in there.
Yeah, I mean, Gary will be on the Braves against good pitchers. I don't know, Gary. Are you a little scared because you're on this show and you have this Braves hat and you just don't want to feel like the biggest Braves homer? Or what's going on?
Stay off the Braves, Gary. I want to pound it. I want to go in the Discord. I want to at Gary, and I want the Braves to put up 10. And Gary is sad that they're crushing, but he's also happy because they're winning. He's got the emotional hedge going on.
I'm going to have a Brave stack tonight. That is inevitable.
That's every night.
There's no way I would fade them. It's not every night.
No,
I will fade them, but they're just not my favorite tonight.
Yeah. No.
Hey, I will say my favorite Brave is Adam Duvall. He is going to hit a home run tonight.
All right. I like that. Adam Duvall, favorite Brave. We like giving you a hard time, Gary. You love the Braves. You have them in your core lot, but hey, they've been on a stretch. They've been hitting the ball very well. So if they've made you some money, I have to give you a hard time there, but we'll go over to the next game. Texas and the Angels. I mean, Ohtani's on the mound, so Texas is going to be very low owned. Don't really have interest there. And on the Angels side, I mean, a decent total. But the thing is, you can't stack them with Ohtani since he is on the mound, which I always hate. Makes stacking them a lot harder on DraftKings and FanDuel. So I'm going to be off this game, really, Mangone. What about you?
Yeah, I think overall, this is where the slate, it kind of starts to die a little bit, right? Like, I don't think I want to go over to this game. I mean, Texas and the Angels, it's just not one to love, right? We like some of these pitchers here. I think we just move on and go to the next one.
Gary?
Going on to the next one.
All righty. Going on to the next one, Seattle and Arizona. I'll go right back to you, Gary. Bumgarner and Anderson on the mound, 2 lefties. I don't know. There a lot of very cheap bats in this order. We don't have the lineups out yet, but like Tom Murphy, maybe a catcher, 2.7K. I don't know if this Andrew Young guy is going to be in there. He's supposed to be in the 6-hole, min price, 2K at second base. Couple cheap bats. Nothing really stands out too much for me, though. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of forgot this game was happening tonight. So that can tell you my interest level here. So yeah, I'm not going to have anybody here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's really going to play anyone in this game. Pitchers Park, so cheap, or yeah, I mean, Pitchers Park, Arizona. They have the humidor there. Don't expect too many people on it though. Mangone, you the same?
I mean, I guess I'll leave this one for Big T if he's on a show, right? To talk about Nick Ahmed against the lefty. Maybe he'll be on that, but maybe you could talk about Mitch Haniger against the lefty, right? Like he could be a one-off, but no thanks. I'm kind of out on this game title. I don't think we need to be playing anyone from here. It does have a 9 total, which, it's only 2 behind Coors, but I just don't think it's necessary. There's a couple one-offs here and there you can make an argument for, but I think this is a good fade.
We'll go to the next. We only got 2 games left. First of all, we have 360 watching, only 150 likes. You guys can get us up to 200 likes today. We're having fun, breaking down 14 game slate, giving out winners, some good prize pools. NFL's right around the corner. We're still grinding baseball though. You guys could hit the like and subscribe button for us. We do appreciate it. And if you're not a member, RPS NFL 15 gets you 15% off your monthly subscription for life, which is ending next week. You'll get I don't know if it's JSU. I think it's Holden, DC, and I'm not quite sure who the last one is. I should have looked. That's my bad as the host, but another coordinator breaking it down up to lock on the premium show. AP, thank you, Simon. AP, can't forget about Andrew Peterson. Andrew Peterson, DC, and Holden bringing you up to lock, breaking it down. And last week on Friday, AP shipped it was the qualifier with the seat that he got on that Friday show, talking about the White Sox, talking about their favorite pitchers from that show. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you sign up. And then Underdog, as I mentioned earlier, use the code RUNPEER on Underdog, $25 off your deposit bonus, gets you a free entry into the Millie or 5 puppy ball drafts. We'll get over though. I know you guys look at the likes for us. 200 isn't too much to ask for. 2 games that I don't have too much interest in. There's one spot I actually have a little interest in, but it's the Dodgers and the Giants in this game. I don't have much interest. David Price, Desclafani, low total in San Fran. It's a pretty easy move on game for me, man. Golden, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just don't need to go there on this slate. Feels like the wrong slate. I'm out on this one.
Gary?
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I want to play some Dodgers here against Desclafani because they've owned them this year, but I just like I like other stacks more. And San Francisco, they just get pinch hit for so much against Price. Price is nothing not anything to write home about, but I think I'm out on this game too.
Yeah, very quick. We'll go to the next game. Not giving the people as much time to like, but hey, you guys can do it. It just takes one click of the button. 40 more likes would go a long way. Last game on the slate, though, Houston and San Diego. And the gift that keeps on giving, Jake Arrieta is back on the mound. Don't know why. Don't know what San Diego was thinking, wanting to go out and get them. But hey, Jake Arrieta's back. Houston has a pretty low total. I mean, 4.8, which isn't low, but it's way lower than I expect, partly due to the San Diego bullpen that we don't like to pick on, but guaranteed 9th inning at bats on the West Coast. The lineup's going to come out late. They're going to be low owned on this slate because of that total, because of the bullpen. Anytime Jake Arrieta's on the mound against a team that's going to be low owned with as much power in this Astros lineup, sign me up. I have interest. Alvarez is 6K. No one's playing him there. I like him. Michael Brantley's only 4K. Kyle Tucker, 401. I have interest in this Astros lineup top to bottom. I know they've let down recently. Gary, you were on them last show too, but you going right back to him against Arrieta?
I'm going right back to it. This is my number 2 stack of the night. I'm a glutton for punishment, apparently. I'm assuming that their total is so low just because they haven't been hitting well recently too. That probably has something to do with it. Arrieta's terrible, and actually this bullpen over the last couple of weeks has the 3rd worst xFIP on the slate. So in baseball. So I know we haven't targeted San Diego's bullpen a lot this year, but recently they haven't been good. So I really like everyone in this lineup, top to bottom. My number 2 stack of the night.
I love it. Definitely. Arrieta, I think it's going to be the same way. Mangone, you always like picking on Arrieta too. I believe last time, or one of the last times, the Brewers, they hanging an 8 spot up in the 1st inning against them? You were on them that day. You going right back to the Astros against Arrieta.
It's a good argument to be made, right? I mean, the Astros can hit anyone. I don't hate it on this slate. They're definitely in play. It's, I guess when we get to the top 4 stacks, we'll see if they creep into that 4th one. I don't know if they will, though. There's a chance maybe they do, but I'm not prioritizing them, right? It's one of those offenses where I think they're a good play. I don't mind them on this slate. If I happen to get exposure to them, I'm happy because it's Arrieta, but I don't think they're a top priority on this slate.
Fair enough. Yeah. And their ownership's they're going to be in the single digits. So that's not really too of a contrarian take, but I definitely hear you. The lineup's going to be out later too, which will keep their ownership down. 170 likes. We can get some more. We'll go to the stacks though. We're not going to hold the plays of the day from you. It's a Friday. I'm in a good mood. We're all in a good mood, excited for the weekend, excited for sports. So we won't hold it against you, but we do we do appreciate if you do hit the like and subscribe button. I'll go over to you, Gary, though. Give me your top 3 favorite stacks on the slate. And I'll include Coors on the slate because I don't think they're not going to be like yesterday, 35, 40% owned. It's going to be relatively spread out with an exception of a couple underpriced guys, though. But Coors is in play. Top 3 stacks for you today.
I'm going to go Toronto, Houston, and Tampa Bay. Atlanta's number 4.
Toronto, Houston, Tampa Bay, Atlanta's number 4. I like it. I'll go over myself. Man, I'm gonna say Tampa Bay is number 1 for me. I like Tampa a lot. I'm gonna say Coors is 2. I have to be on brand. I like Coors today. Tampa 1, Coors game stack 2. And yeah, I mean that's 3 right there. I would say the Reds is 4, but I really like Tampa today. I think they're gonna be underowned as the pivot from Coors a little bit. Mix in Coors with them. Mangone, top 3 stacks for you.
Yeah, I'm going to say Braves as my number 1. We'll go with them. From there, I go back and forth, right? I think Yankees I'll go with as 2. Reds at 3, but like that's close. I think it's like interchangeable between 2 and 3 for that. And then let's go with Rockies as the 4, right? He can get a lot of strikeouts. We saw it against the Yankees last time. He gave up some bombs and he got some strikeouts. I wouldn't be shocked if went 5 innings or 6 innings, struck out 6 and gave up like 5 earned. That just would not shock me at all in this slate. So I think we'll go with the Rockies as my number 4 stack.
I like it. Yeah. People talking in chat like Altuve 6.2K, no way, and all this stuff. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Pitching's not very top heavy at all. You're going to have the salary. And people are thinking the same thing. They don't want to pay 6.2 for Jose Altuve or 6K for Alvarez when you can go Freddie Freeman, other bats up top, which sometimes you like to overpay a little bit in spots like that to be different, and they have the power. So I definitely think the Astros, I know Gary likes them. A price tag like that, sometimes in tournaments, it's good to overspend, especially with pitching like it is today. But we'll go over to the plays of the day. Even though the likes, I mean, it's a little hurtful. We could have done better than that, but hey, it's all right. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Friday. Go over to you first, Gary. Braves homer play of the day. Who do you got for us?
I'm going to go on the very last game, and Jordan is going to hit a bomb tonight.
Jordan, I like it a lot. Jordan goes deep off of Arrieta. Gary's play of the day. I'll go to myself. Man, there's a couple options. I'm going to go in this Tampa Bay game. I'm going to go cheap. So you have a lot of money to spend if you're going down a pitch or 2. But I'm going to go Kevin Kiermaier, 2.4K in the 6 hole. I like Gary talked him up a little bit too. I like Tampa. 2.4K is too cheap to get exposure in this offense and lets you get the other big bats you want. So give me Kevin Kiermaier in the 6 hole, 2.4K. Mangone, we still don't have a play of the day name for you. So it's lame. You got to figure something out. But hey, Mangone, who is your play of the day?
You can't force things in the life title, okay? That's
but I also can't just keep saying Mangone, it's your play of the day.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're gonna have
we'll be doing
to.
this all year. We'll be doing this for years.
Until it gets found, right? Like, I think AP's was forced too, but again, we'll just see what happens. Even Gary's might change, right? It might be a better one. We might find something better than the Braves.
Gary's is fine. I think I like Gary's. He came up with it right away too, first day. So he's way ahead of you are. I don't know though, man. You better give a winner because your play of the day name is.
I've been giving winners. I will say they've been good. Can I go to Eddie Rosario? I know it's Coors, but he's in the eighth, right?
Of course.
And Eddie Rosario, I don't have the data in front of me. Gary, maybe you know this, right? Eddie Rosario is a good ground ball pitcher, I believe. Like he's good at hitting the ground balls, at least in that zone. You dive into those analytics. That's something I used to do a lot way back in the day, and I don't do as much anymore. But I think it's a great way to get different throughout your lineup, and he hit the ball pretty well the other day. You like to ride those hot streaks. He's came back from injury. I think Eddie Rosario is a great way to be different with your Braves stack. And right now, in my current FanDuel team that I made, Eddie Rosario is in there, and I think he's a great way to get my team different and help make things work.
Yeah, no, I mean, going down to the bottom of the order in Coors will make you a little different too. Like I said, though, outside of a couple bats, I think ownership's going to be pretty spread out. it was a fun talking, breaking down the slate, 14 games. We'll be in Discord too if anything changes. I know there was some chance of pop-ups in a couple spots today. If anything changes or got to fade stuff or weather, we'll be in Discord breaking it down. But we appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Hope you guys all have a good weekend. Tons of content tonight. College football. Then we got, tennis has been absolutely rolling. MMA's tomorrow. NASCAR. We have Showdown golf. Baseball, like always. NFL is going to be here before we know it. So make sure you sign up. RPS NFL 15. Thanks for hanging out with us. For Gary, Mangone, myself, Titletown. Good luck, everybody.